Greetings. Today, in no particular concept, is just going to be trying a bunch of, well, trying in front of the camera to show you guys some new makeup release, like the new Etude cushion, their new eyeshadows, and also these things that Miss Chungha. Honestly, Miss Chung, I feel like Miss Chungha in Korea is more known for her makeup than her music now, which is so fucking sad. But these Tonymoly dual cheek things. Let's get started. I actually didn't do my skincare yet, so I'm just gonna do that. I know a lot of the girlies that watch me are more into skincare than makeup, so this part is for y'all. This is actually a cleansing water that my thing with cleansing water is that I was always scared of it because, like, oh, if it's sitting on my skin, it's gonna fuck my skin up because, like, oh, cleansing ingredients sitting on my skin, oh my god. But this shit has been like, do you see this giant? Look at it, how fucking big this, like, how can I show you? This is the cushion. Do you see how big this shit is? I've had this forever, and the crazy thing to me is that this was like $10. Got it from Olive Young, but it's the JMsolution Japan H-Dye Hyaluronic Ampoule Cleansing Water Aqua. Long fucking name, but also I love the fact that it's just a pump type. So I literally just leave it open on my vanity. I just, with my favorite Daiso dual cotton pads, and just, you know, wipe. And I love this for not just like in the morning when I'm lazy, but at night, girl. And it does a really good job at removing makeup. I do have to use like about 3 of these just to get most everything off, but my skin is like, it's not irritated, and it actually feels, I don't like to like cleanse my face and be like, oh my god, my skin is moisturized, but leave it at that because I'm gonna put moisture, like skincare, on afterwards. But I was assuming that with cleansing water it'd be overly drying for my skin, but this one doesn't really do that. Also, because it is pump type and I'm using it with a cotton pad, I can like really soak the cotton pad. I'm not like against cleansing wipes, like makeup cleansing wipes. My only issue with them is that when they don't have enough product on the wipe, so it feels scratchy. But with this, because you can really like put a lot on the cotton pad, it's a lot softer on the skin. And so, period. I don't feel like I'm wiping my face with like a dry ass fucking piece of cotton. So love her. Next two, I'm gonna keep my skincare simple. Ingredients, these two, especially this one. This especially has been super popular and viral or whatever in Korea because very popular at makeup shops. I'm gonna use the toner first, the Skin Barrier Calming Softener from Ongredients, and they're like this vegan skincare brand or whatever. The toner, I mean, to be honest, this, I always rotate between this one and the toners from Parnell, and they all generally do the same thing. They're just nice and hydrating, calming and balancing. I mean, isn't that what they all say these days? I switch over to this lately for the girlies that do Bounce Beauty. Again, if you didn't know, I do personal color analysis and personal makeup lessons one-on-one. So if you come to Korea, you want to do that, you can check the Bounce Beauty Instagram to get to check the schedule. I really get around my eyes, to be honest. I get really bad like eye boogers, girl. It's kind of crazy. And also later when I'm doing my eyeshadow and stuff, I don't want there to be like the crusty, dry skin around my eyes. So really get the eyes. This one as well. They're having an Olive Young sale right now, and so, girl, you can get like they just come together. They have one where it's this, and then a smaller version of this, and they're actually not that bad in price. So, girl, I fucking stocked up. I stocked up. The annoying thing with these, though, is that when I do my skincare routine, I end up using more of the toner than this. So, like, I have way more of this left over than this. So, it's kind of like when you're having somek, like soju and mekju beer. You always run out of the beer first. And so you'll have 1 bottle of soju, but then you have like 3 empty bottles of mekju. Girl, it's... Anyway, but this one, the Skin Barrier Calming Lotion, is like the one. It's a mix between an essence and a lotion. So I pretty much just use this. And then sunscreen. I'm not using sunscreen today because I'm not going out today. But it reminds me so much of the Estera lotion essence thing. The hydro essence. You know, when you first look at it, you're like, oh, it's like a lotion, right? But it's extremely light and almost like watery. So when you blend it in, it melts into the skin almost like light water essence. So besides that, you know, great for before makeup. and in general, skincare in general, even if you don't wear makeup, I like the way it makes the skin feel because it hydrates the inside. If you're dehydrated like me, a combination of a toner and some kind of like light essence lotion or essence in general is the type of stuff that I find more useful. You can see I'm rubbing my skin, but it doesn't feel oily on the surface. It just feels hydrated, but you see this glow that you get that's fully absorbed. So that lets you know it's not just like, oh, a glow from skincare that you literally just freshly applied, which I find kind of annoying with some influencers, to be honest. Oh, it's already 10 minutes. Jesus Christ, I talk too fucking much. Okay, let's get into base. So my favorite, my favorite shop, which I haven't been to, but I like it because of the work that they've done. Kits. It's a makeup shop in Seoul, and they're well known for doing a lot of the top idols. aespa. Who are the other ones that they do? I don't remember. Miane. Basically, one of the top makeup artists at that shop is aespa's makeup artist. Her, along with like 4 or 5 of the other makeup artists at that shop, collaborated with Etude to create this cloud filter cushion. This is in the shade Beige number 23. And I've tried this several times to get a feel of it. There's like pros and cons, to be honest. The pros, I can really tell that this was like developed with makeup artists because it really gives you that like almost like professional looking base touch. 근데 it's a little bit, because it's a cloud filter, right? So it's more of like a matte cushion. Not matte in the sense of like those long wearing, it's not like an Estee Lauder double wear situation, right? It's just a soft matte finish. So it gives you that cloudy, like filtered looking skin. 근데 the coverage is so light. 근데 the color is so good because it's not too yellow, it's not too pink. It's like a very beautiful neutral shade, at least the one that I'm using. So let me show you. Oh, by the way, when I don't know if this is going to be continuous, but I bought it when it first dropped, and it came with an extra, like a refill, and it comes with 2 extra papu. So that's nice. Also, I love the fucking color. This is definitely the CLO, the View 92 aesthetic. you know. 근데 그냥 it's a very typical format sponge cushion foundation. To be honest, I was watching who was it? There's that YouTuber that collaborated with one of the makeup artists at the shop to basically promote this cushion, right? And she was like, oh, when you first open it, there's so much there's a lot of products, so be careful. But that's like with most cushions. I use it like once or twice, and after that I'm already having to like push in there to get any product out, which kind of sucks because it's already kind of light coverage in my opinion. So you can see why they put in a refill. Look at that color. It's so pretty. It literally just takes away the redness and overly yellow bits of my skin. And you can see, oh, hopefully you can see, because this shit is in 4K, you can see how light and like thin it is. Like it doesn't look like a heavy like layer of makeup on the skin, which is where I felt that sort of artist touch. So I'm thinking in my head that they made this to be used in tandem with concealer if you need it, which for me, as someone that does other people's makeup, that's always been my philosophy. Even the skin tone with foundation, and then use concealer if you need extra coverage. One of the other downsides I've noticed though is that if I don't hydrate well, it does kind of look crusty at the end of the day. Now I did kind of test it around a time when I was using, I'd be using that 1% retinol. So my skin gets fucked up for like a week. But around the end of that week is when I tested this. And so it did kind of get crusty at the end of the day, just because my skin was so severely dry. So if you have like normal to slightly dehydrated skin, this is going to work out for you. I think if you have overly dry skin, this is probably going to look crusty on you if you don't do a good job of prepping your skin before. But I think that goes with most base makeup anyway. So, but for me, the top 2 things I like about this cushion is 1, the color, and 2, just like the ease of use. I can just slap it on without being too precise because, I love a good full coverage foundation, but I do have to always keep in mind 양조절, portion control, and being careful to apply. But with this one, because it's so soft and airy and just a nice color for me, I can just slap it on without worrying too much about it getting cakey because it's just the form is just so thin. But I'm not trying to be too concerned about the coverage anyway because I'm going to be using a concealer now, a new concealer, which the same YouTuber I was watching, not even long after this one, she put out another video to promote a new release that was in collaboration with another makeup artist. I forgot the name of the makeup artist, but she made the Luna concealer palette, which is quite popular in Korea. But they met up again and they created this Luna grinding concealer butter. This one I already opened and tried on my hand, but this is what it looks like. It's like a little cube thing. This is the cap. And this top here is actually a palette, and the product comes out of that little hole right there. What you have to do is twist it clockwise. And I believe the mechanism inside kind of pushes the product up. And as you're twisting it, the little cutter thing at the top on the lid here kind of shaves off some butter so you get the product out here. It comes in 3 shades. The one I just showed you was number 3 porcelain. That's the deepest shade. This is number 2 ivory. Then this is number 1 salmon beige. 1, 2, 3. According to the makeup artist, oh, this is for the cool tone girls. This is for the warm tone girls, and this is for anyone that has like dark circles or whatever. And I'm like, I don't think the tone, like how light or dark your skin is, determines your, you know, whether you're warm or cool toned. Because in Korea, apparently, if you're pale, you're cool toned, and if you're tan, you're warm toned. But that's literally not always the case. When I bought them, they're on a promotion, so they do come with a set of 2 Luna Pupu, these cute little stretchy little puffs. And she said that in the video that she was promoting the product on the YouTuber, she just used a thin layer of tone-up cream, and then she used this mostly for the coverage. So that's why I didn't want to put too much of that cushion foundation, because I wanted to show you this. Besides having, you know, this sort of grinding mechanism, she made it so that you can use this surface as a palette. So I'm going to use it with the puff that it comes with, like this. This is the salmon beige one. I'm going to use that on my chin. Let me zoom in really close. I want you to see this. Because to be honest, when she first mentioned this formula, like a butter type concealer formula, I immediately had an image of what it would be like. And last night when I was swatching it on my hand, I could already feel that it's exactly how I would imagine it. I can really feel like this is the type of formula that is going to crease if you have any light, like smile lines, or especially this color, because it's a salmon beige one. So they're like, oh, you can use under your eyes, girl. This is gonna crease. I'm gonna use number 3 porcelain for my cheeks, kind of covering any like these bits here that the cushion didn't really do a good job of covering. It does cover pores beautifully though, because it's slightly 촉촉해, but it's gonna crease under your eyes if you use it too much under your eyes. On the cheeks, it's the perfect type of concealer, to be honest, for you do a thin layer foundation and then you just use it on the cheeks to get a little bit more coverage and to kind of highlight. I have to say, I do love this little mechanism here. So right here, we can often get a lot of larger pores. This is great for filling those in. And also here, the sides of the nose. I think one little downside, I think, is that if you need a little bit more, you can't just like twist a little bit, because you have to kind of go a full 90 degrees. Because you can't close the cap if it's like slightly off, if it's not aligned with the bottom part. So you have all this concealer, which, I mean, I guess you could like save it, just put the cap on, but that feels so unsanitary. Ugh, I'm wasting product now. I feel like it will work well here on my chin where it's a bit dry. So I'd say this will work out really well for those of you girlies that have dry skin. And then just a little bit of the palest shade, Ivory, just down the center of my face. I'm gonna take another one of the ones that came in the pack, a clean one, and just, you know, that definitely takes off some of the excess. I do like the puff. These sort of finger puffs are very popular, but usually they come in the really short, little stubby one, which, I don't know, I feel kind of weird just like poking at my face like that. So the fact that this is a little bit longer, it feels more like I'm like, you know, covering more area, and it just feels more comfortable, like I'm hugging my face. Because with the traditional little finger puffs, they're like these tiny little things where I'm like poking, and I don't like that. Now I'm gonna wipe off the excess that's sort of like sitting in the puff that I used earlier, and then maybe touch a little bit under my eyes. I've actually kind of been into not using much product under my eyes. Just doing my full face, concealer here, but avoiding my under eye area. And it kind of, you know, my foundation and concealer here kind of does a decent job of covering whatever's under my eyes. So you can just take a wet wipe or some kind of tissue to just wipe off the excesses on the lid. So I can see this being very convenient to take with you, like in your little makeup bag. Just take this and bring the puffs with you, which does come with a case. And you could pretty much just use that as your base makeup. If you're, especially if you're like a skin tint type of girly where you don't like heavy feeling base, do your skin tint or even just your sunscreen and then put this in the areas that you need it. But the two downsides, one, not many colors, obviously. And two, it's very okay, which can be a good thing, but can be a bitch if you have lines like me here and here, which is why I didn't put much under my eyes. But the coverage is beautiful and it does an amazing job of filling in. Like, you see how smooth because here I have quite big pores, right where when I smile, this bit right here, but it covered that really well, like almost like I used a primer, and it really smoothed my skin out, which you guys know I have like the rolling acne scars, but it looks a lot smoother. I was going to use powder, but I want to see how the base kind of settles. I know how this works, but I want to see how the concealer sits as we're talking. So I'm just going to leave the base for now. Hello, this is me the next day. I'm wearing these again with BB cream, and I didn't put any powder except this sort of clear mattifying thing I got from Taobao. But girl, 근데 it's doing what I thought it would do. It's creasing. 여기 보이지? Right here, all the creasing. Right here, around my nose. Can't say I'm not surprised, but this is what happens when you're getting older. So no shame in that. But for me, it's like a little bit ashua just because I love the way this glow looks. But I would have to put some powder under my eyes. And I'm going to use my Issy eye primer because I want to get into some eyeshadow now. Yo, I've been loving this shit. It's really good. It's really thin, so it doesn't feel like you have glue on your eye. But it just really helps with making that eyeshadow pop. And, you know, for everyday makeup, I don't use like super dark eyeshadows these days. But I just notice a difference in the color. It looks a lot more clear. And it pretty much goes, I mean, that's the job of most primers, right? To give you a long wear. But this one really, I put my makeup on in the morning and my eyeshadow pretty much looks the same at the end of the day. Actually, you know what? I will use some powder on my brows. I look a little bit crazy with these dark brows and my lighter hair. This is the Dinto powder, the one from Daiso, in the Milky shade. Oh my, don't do that. The fuck? Oh fuck. My beloved AliExpress pencil. I'll use these during my little makeup lessons and I'll pull it out and be like, oh my god, it's the AliExpress pencil. She's made a name for herself. Also, after this video, I have to go listen to Lady Gaga's new album, Mayhem, that just came out. So I listened to a few of the tracks. And with the aesthetic of the album, like Disease and Abracadabra, like what we've gotten so far, I was expecting something really dark and very like art pop. But it's kind of like a mix between art pop and I would say The Fame. It felt a lot more like, what's the word, lighthearted, I guess, in terms, not necessarily lyrical content, but like vibes wise. That was kind of like a surprise, I think, for me from the few tracks that I've heard so far. But I'm really enjoying it so far. But earlier she did a Spotify sort of like press conference thing with some of the little monsters. And girl, they were asking the questions, honey, because you know, I do interviews with idols, you know, I also watch pop culture stuff. So when we have things like the Grammys or the Oscars or the VMAs and they're doing interviews on the red carpet, they're always asking the most dumb, basic ass questions, which I fucking get tired of. But honey, they were asking, the first question they asked, did you see Azealia Banks' tweet about disease? I was like, we're starting strong. Someone asked at the very end, what did she whisper to Ariana Grande during the 2020 VMA performance of Rain on Me? And I was like, oh my god. But sorely disappointed because apparently Miss Gaga forgot what she said and whispered to her. So I would ask about Telephone Part 2. Oh my god. I really wish that artists did this more often because they're going to do press tours anyway. They're going to be asking, oh, how did you make the album? What was the inspiration? It was nice to see her do a little sort of press conference with actual fans. So I hope artists do that more often in the future, to be honest. Even Gaga herself was like, oh my god, why didn't we do this a while ago? I was like, girl, exactly. Also, I've been listening to a lot of Tate McRae. I would have never thought I'd be into Miss Tate McRae because I know Greedy was super viral like a few years ago. But I was never really into it. I was like, eh. I don't know. I didn't really care for her first album, or even anything from that era. But then Two Hands, It's Okay, I'm Okay, kind of started to get into my radar. And I was like, I'm kind of into this. And then Revolving Doors came out. I was like, oh, girl, whenever I listen to the song, I think I can just hold my leg up and just kind of like flip back, girl. Purple Lace Bra has been like my thing on the album, my on repeat song. Along with the Cloud Filter Cushion, whatever, Etude released a lot of eyeshadow, like girl, it's been the era of single eyeshadows. If you've been around for kbeauty for a long time, the look at my eyes, single eyeshadows were like the thing back in the day. But then eyeshadow palettes became more popular. That's been like the thing for the longest time. But now we're going back into the era, like Holika has been doing the single shadows. Colorgram is doing single shadows. Rom&nd is doing single shadows. And now Etude came back and is bringing back their single shadows. These originally come individually, but if you buy like at least 3, I think, they give you this clear case for free at Olive Young at least. And so they actually organize the shadows by like color family. There's like the pinks, mauves, grays, and all that. What I got was I believe this is the pinks, I think. And then this is the mauves right here. And then they have a bunch of volume, aka the highlighter shade. So those are the 3 sets that I got. Today, I think what I want to do is, you know, I always use shit like this. So today, I think I want to go for the pink one. And I took off the stickers and stuck them to the back so I don't forget the names. Also, I don't know if you probably can't see this, but I actually hooked up my camera to my PC monitor. So I actually... my whole ass face is right here, but it's an ultra wide monitor, so my face is all stretched out, but it makes it easier because I'm normally using this little thing on the camera, the little viewfinder, but it's so small sometimes I'm like, so I cut it here so I can see myself. First, I'm going to use the shade Low Sugar Syrup. It's a really pale pink shade. And just use that all over to get that migraine vibe. If you feel like eyeshadow looks too pigmented on you, like it looks too strong and you want the more like clear, transparent vibe, then you can use a really pale shade or use a blush, because usually blushes aren't as pigmented as eyeshadows themselves. So if you have a paler blush, you can also use that as well. My eye has been so watery lately right here. So if the eyeshadow starts erasing here, 양해 부탁드립니다. I'm gonna go quite low actually. And then I'm going to use the next shade, Taro Milk Tea, this one, which is kind of like just a deeper version of that color, to be honest. Which, to be honest, looks like nothing when you first put it on. So I've noticed with these Korean eyeshadows is you kind of have to let them sit a little bit. Obviously, it's not going to develop into like this darker color. It's not like an oxidation moment, but you kind of have to trust the process, honey. You see how it's looking a little bit more pink now around my eyes. Pull out my little Ryan brush cleaner from Christina. Thank you, Christina. Now I'm going to use 달달 moment, which is this grayish lavender shade that has shimmer in it. Put some out here. And then this last shade, which is called Bubble Love. And it's like this toned down indie pink that has almost like a red undertone to it. So you can get a little bit of that burgundy, a little bit of that redness around the eye. So I'm gonna put it here. These more reddish shades I like to only put like below if I'm doing everyday makeup, because otherwise if I put it on the upper lid, it can look a little bit vampire-ish. So, yeah. Very light colors, to be honest, but I'm not surprised because 1, it's Etude House, and 2, this is kind of like been the vibe of kbeauty lately. Very mild, very light eyes, because they'll do a lot more focus on like the eyeshadow or eyeliner and like the cheeks and the lips. So I do want to dip into these volume shadows though. I want to try this one, Fantasy World. This really like bubbly looking pink. Oh. I'm going to dip into this grayish palette that I got and use the darker shades in here to kind of put some definition around my eyes because I feel like it's too light now. There's not enough defining colors in there. Like that. So there's a little, so it's not looking so like pale. And then maybe a touch of this Inside Star, this lavender sort of a iridescent shade. Oh, that's cute. And then just a touch of mascara, just so you can see my lashes. This is the AOU Volume Brown mascara. Oh fuck! I keep getting too like freaky with it and just slapping this shit on. Didn't I say a few videos ago I'm trying to be more like detailed and precise with my makeup? The fuck am I doing? Oh, now I'm getting in my bangs. Girl, what the fuck is going on? Jesus Christ. A little bit of those contouring shades for my Eyeshadow. The skin is actually holding up really well. I like this. Probably has a lot to do with this, to be honest. But that's good. It's good. It's not looking dry. It's not looking patchy yet. So these are the Tonymoly. Girl, I have not been in Tonymoly. You know, I was shopping with Christina and we were passing by Tonymoly and she reminded me, she's like, oh, because of Chonga, that one product went viral. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Because I watched the video where someone was like, in Korea, this is going viral. I was like, I need to remember to check that out. And so we went to Tonymoly and I picked two up. I didn't get the color that was viral on Chonga because it's definitely not for me. It's gonna look so orange on me. So I got a really cool tone one and I got one that's more neutral. This is number 9, Mauve Moon. And it's the Lip and Cheek Duo Balm. It comes with a sort of more matte texture product. While this side is basically the same thing, but a glossy formula. Well, that looks really purple and pink on camera. But it's kind of like a powdery blurring effect. In the other one, it's just like a cream sort of balm type situation. It feels 쫀쫀해, which is what I like. So that tells me it's going to be a little bit more long wearing because sometimes when you have products like that, they're too thin and like watery or greasy. It doesn't feel greasy. It just feels 촉촉해. And then the other color I got was another rose, number 8. This one is a sort of rosy one. It's actually one of the more deeper ones. It's a lot more red than I expected. A rose shade, but it's definitely more on the reddish side. So if you are warm toned, that would look really good on you. Like if you're on autumn, that would look amazing. Meanwhile, if you are a summer, this one will look really pretty. Or if you are a winter and you want something kind of like what's the word? A little bit more natural. Because winters, they look better in more color. A lot of summer colors might look a little bit too pale or like too like grayish on them. But that one has enough color that a winter could handle it. But it's not so grayish that it would look a little bit strange on them. I think I'm going to use this one. Place it more here. Oh girl, that's strong as hell. If you have deeper skin and you're cool toned, this is going to look really pretty on you. On me, I'm probably going to have to just relegate this to my lips. My lips. It is a cheek and lip duo, so no one said I had to use it on my cheeks. Now I just look like a clown. I probably should have just kept it out here because it is a darker color. Usually for a darker color of blush, I tend to reserve it for the outside part of the cheek, so I probably should have just done that. I should have just done that, girl. So let me go back in with my concealer. Miss Luna over here. I do like that they're all different colors, so you can actually tell them apart immediately. Because sometimes when you have multiple colors of a certain concealer, they all have the same component, right? And so you have to like look at the bottom. Again, I only need a little bit, but I have to fucking see what you could do is like kind of grind out a little bit, and then immediately turn it back the other way, so you don't fully grind out all the product that you're not going to use. There's my little tip, I guess. So I'm going to take off like here. It's a good thing I didn't powder yet. Yeah, that's a lot better. Here it just looks like someone slapped me in the face, whereas here it looks like, oh, it's cute, like purple pink blush. Also, the fact that this is more on the chukchukhe side, if you did only use this as your base makeup, right? Or not even necessarily that situation, but if you like to touch up your makeup throughout the day, this sits on top of the previous amount that you put really nicely. Like it doesn't look cakey or anything. Now, if you do your base makeup and use this butter concealer, and then you use powder, and then later on throughout the day you look like cakey or like crusty, and then you try to put this on top, it will probably look nasty. So if you know you're gonna have to touch up, then I would suggest probably either just using setting spray to fix your makeup instead of powder, or you don't powder at all and you just take this with you. Although I do like my blush more here, for these darker colors, you definitely want to keep it more on the outside, because if you try to put those on the center of your face, like it depends on your skin tone, right? If you have a blush, but it's darker than your skin tone, then you definitely want to keep it on the outer part. If you try to put it in the middle, it will look muddy, which is what happened just now. But the blushes that are close to your skin tone or lighter, you can kind of put here for that sort of cute effect. I think for my lips, put a bit of that concealer. I'm going to take this little bullet-shaped, it looks like an eyeshadow brush, but it's meant for the lips. Because my idea with this matte plus glowy product, the matte one, I'm just going to fluff on the matte one for sort of blurred out color. Girl, I fucking forgot to put lip balm on too, so my lips are looking crusty as fuck. Yeah, this color is definitely for summers or winters. It's too cool tone for me. I am a soft summer. So soft summers have a little bit of warmth to them, or they look good with a little bit of warmth in their clothes and makeup. So, I mean, this is just looking overly cool. You see that? To alleviate this, I could probably not put concealer foundation on my lips, because I paled my lips first and then put this on. It looks a lot lighter. It's too late, y'all. It's too fucking late. Then I'm going to dip into the glowy part and use a lip brush with that. That's pretty. But I hate this color on me. Because when I looked at it, it looks like it would be good for a soft summer. But it's just so pink, like once you put it on. I like how it feels though. It's a little bit sticky, which is my preference. I don't like it when it's like thin, because that means it will dry out super quickly. But also, it's not as glowy and smoothing as like the AOU tint bombs. And my eye keeps fucking watering, just pissing me off, girl. I am pissed off today. Look how crazy I look. I look like it's giving auntie. No. I'm taking this shit off. Actually, you know what? Let me put that shit back on. I'm gonna put the balm back, the glowy one back on. I'm just gonna slap it on with my fingers. See, this looks kind of cute. Not the color, but just being able to slap it on with a finger. I like that. The low maintenance vibe of that. But recently I bought Rom&nd's new Blackberry tint, and I did post like a shorts and a TikTok about this, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it. But I did say that it's not on me, it's not black, it's gray. But I did say that you can actually use it to darken or like mute down a color that's too bright, which is the current situation. You can even see here that it's not really black. You can see it's gray. It's not supposed to be, it's a tint, right? It's not supposed to be full coverage, but it is a little disappointing that it's not actually black, because you can still get a more blacker color in a sheer tint formula, if that makes sense. Now, this is really pigmented for being a sheer black tint. It really changes the color a lot. It's not just like it like slightly changed. No, it like really changes the color. So I actually like this a lot more. Like the combination of this with the cheek and then this lip looks so much better. But it doesn't make sense with my hair and my shirt right now. Yeah, like if you just zoom, like let's just zoom in where you don't see my clothing. 어떡해. 망했어. They did make a blur fudge tint, like a matte one, like the black color, Rom&nd. What the fuck did I just say? Rom&nd also made a black blur fudge tint that in, I think on US TikTok shop it's being sold. But apparently in Korea it's coming out in April. It's like a limited edition sort of situation, but they only have like the tints right now in Korea. Actually, do I even want to put powder anymore? I'm like highly disappointed by this whole makeup look. Dinto powder on my Shiseido puff. I got this as well from my friend in Japan, and I don't know what the fuck what's up with this puff, but you literally put the powder in there, you kind of do this situation. Learned this from Wayne Goss. And I just powder all over, and like it actually evenly applies. Oh, girl. It looks a bit crusty on my chin, but this is not as bad as it normally is. Usually I can tell how well concealer sits by after I put powder on. If it looks crusty immediately with the powder. I mean, it's a combination of how well I take care of my skin plus the actual concealer formula, but compared to some other times with some concealers, it actually doesn't look that bad. I did love the way it looked though by itself without any powder on top. It looks so pretty. But I can see it might start caking around my my nose. I guess slap on a little bit of contour. Y'all, I don't fucking know. Some highlights. I do love the cushion, specifically when it first goes on. If I don't take care of my skin or it's going through a rough patch, it's gonna look kind of like, not just kind of like really crusty at the end of the day. But this, along with the concealers, looks super beautiful. I just have to really be careful about putting it around here and right here specifically. But other than that, like before the powder, it looks super nice. The eyeshadows were... I'll be honest, I bought this with the cushion because I was like, oh, you know, I can do it use it for the video because it's like an Etude cushion with Etude singles and like, oh, new kbeauty. But I don't know, y'all. I already have colors like this, especially this one, in my collection. And I think I'm trying to give some kind of like, because sometimes I'm almost too positive in my videos. And so I try to balance it out with like slightly, not negative, but just like not as good reviews. What I think it is just I'm not really surprised by this. I'm not like, oh my god, go out and buy it. I love the idea of having single shadows, but if I wanted this particular vibe, I would just use this has been like my actual go-to everyday lately, the 2AN Better Me eye palette. This has been like my shit every day for the past 2 weeks, and I love it. I think I'll try this one off camera to see, because I probably like this combination more than this. I think because I was like, oh, like Mauve situation, but I think it's just too pink for me. And speaking of too pink, girl, this shit, a flop. Love the concept and the formula. Love the concept, but the color was just too much. There are many colors, so I probably have to try those, but I think for trying this within this video, disappointed. I hate the way that looked. This looks a little bit better because of the Rom&nd black tint, but girl, if I was actually, I just put this necklace on for the video. This is just my pambahay, my just going to bed t-shirt. So you know what? It actually already looks better. It looks like just it's probably this. She was the culprit. But yeah, it was just too pink. I didn't really like it on my complexion. Yeah. 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 Now I'm in a bad mood. I'll see you in another video. Bye guys. Have a good day, night, evening, whatever. See you around. Bye.